true.
All you're telling me is that the reality which does exist has a source. Am I right? That is your bottom line.
I'm saying attributes and the plurality that exists has a source, and it is ultimately connected always with the source, and it is that source. Insofar as it's absolute.
It is that source?
It is.
You're adding that bit.
Are you saying this bottle is God now?
Yeah, we're not. I don't have a problem with you saying.
You know, when you look, this is where the problem is. You keep using terms which go against you. Actually,
It doesn't, Hashim.
Okay. When you use terms like God, for example, okay, then you're saying everything is God.
No, because if I were to say it's contingent, that means something is contingent. It has an ontological reality. When a water bottle doesn't.
Okay, good.
A water bottle's ontological reality.
Wait. You use the term contingent.
Yeah, because he just used contingent.
Okay,
That's
good.
what I was making a.
Is God contingent?
Is God contingent? Nothing is contingent in my worldview.
Nothing is contingent?
No, everything is that being ultimately.
Okay, you know contingent what it means.
Yeah,
I hope you don't have your own definition.
Okay, contingent is that something exists only in connection or being held up
Okay,
or
not just
powered
that.
by this thing.
No. It could have been another way.
Yeah.
So you're already contradicting yourself.
You see, that's why I said every time you speak,
Yeah.
you don't even realize when you contradict yourself. Because when you talk about contingent,
let's establish contingent.
also there's a necessary being and there's a contingent being, if you want to call it.
So it's separate from.
Okay, let's use the term existence.
So it's
unnecessary
separate.
existence.
So it's separate.
contingent
So so whatever is.
No, unnecessary existence cannot be any other way.
That's the point.
Okay, unnecessary existence exists by necessity.
Necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay.
That means it cannot be any other way.
Okay.
Okay, it's not dependent on anything else.
Yes.
Whereas a contingent existence depends, has an explanation. Sorry, a necessary being. There's an additional addendum here. It doesn't have an explanation outside it. Okay, it's self-sufficient.
So then
it's self-sufficient, independent,
And couldn't have been
any other way.
Okay.
Whereas
I
a
think this fits
contingent,
into my view.
whereas a contingent being or contingent existence, it depends on any
How?
of some. Okay, did this bottle exist by itself?
The water bottle.
I like the bottle.
Yeah, by the way, I love it too.
Okay, so when you talk about the water bottle,
Yeah.
does it exist?
By itself.
No.
Is it contingent?
Yes.
Okay.
On being.
It is not a necessary existence, right?
The bottle, when we're talking about the attributes, this, no.
When I say bottle, I mean bottle. I don't know what bottle you're talking about.
Is the bottle God?
You're not going to define. No. Before we go to the God bit, let's see because I want to know whether you even understand the term contingent.
This is a necessary being.
So the necessary being is actually the exact opposite of the contingent.
The contingent. I agree with
Yes.
this. Yes.
So is the bottle, in your worldview, is the bottle contingent or necessary?
The thing is, I told you 1,000. I don't even recognize the bottle as existing.
Bro, let me make it simple for you. If the bottle,
So you're saying the bottle doesn't exist now?
Listen, let me tell you.
It's so far that it has its own existence. No.
Bro, there's a clear answer.
Where'd it come from?
If a bottle is necessary, and that means it couldn't have been another way. That means this bottle always existed. This bottle was made, yeah? So the fact that it was made, the fact that it had a beginning, therefore it's contingent. It's contingent on other things happening.
When we're talking about the bottle, we're talking about this
What this is
specific
right now.
form, what it
Yes.
is right now. And my claim, what it is right now, is just a certain form. That
okay, even
form
if you wanna go to
is...
the
But does it exist?
Even the matter.
Okay.
It exists insofar as...
Does it exist
form.
independently?
No.
Thank you. So it's not.
No.
So then it is
I agree
contingent.
with this. I agree with this, Hashim, but
You see how every time you talk about something, you contradict
but-
yourself without even realizing it.
Let me tell you why, bro. Even if you want to go down to not the form, if you want to go down just to atoms or like the matter of it, whatever. The matter had a beginning, and therefore it was another way. Therefore, it cannot be necessary. Therefore, if you think God is a necessary existence, it can't be part of God. It can't be God. It can't be any of that.
when you're
It's something
talking,
different.
okay, when you're saying that that's what it is, yes, I agree. But what is
It's not what we are saying. It's what you perceive as the bottle.
what I perceive as the bottle.
Yeah.
Very true. Just like I perceive the sky to be blue. Does that mean?
No. Let's stick to the bottle. I like the bottle.
Okay. Let's stick to the bottle.
Okay.
Just because I perceive
Is the
it
bottle
just
contingent?
After we just went
I
through
just
it.
said yes. It's contingent
Okay.
on being.
So if it is a contingent
Yes.
reality, it cannot be the being which is
It's contingent upon.
necessary.
Yes.
No,
That's not, bro, forget this contingent on being. Is it a contingent existence? Yes or no?
it doesn't have a separate.
Philosophically, you know that
it
we're
does not
contingent.
have a separate existence. No.
No. That's not what contingent means, bro. Contingent philosophy means could have been something else. Could have been another way. You know that bottle was a different form at one point. That matter did not exist at one point. Therefore, it was another way at some point.
But
it was.
so it still existed, right?
No,
it didn't exist.
It didn't exist even. The matter
This
did not-
bottle did not exist at one
Okay,
point.
that's if you're making the case that matter is not
Eternal. Matter is not eternal.
Yeah, it isn't. So
If you're claiming matter is eternal, then you have to substantiate it.
yeah, good
No,
luck
I'm
with
not
that.
claiming that
Class,
matter
then.
is.
You can't say that it's necessary. You can't say that this is.
Okay, so wait.
I'm not saying the bottle is necessary.
No, but you can't say you can't say that it's part of God or that
Why?
it's. I'm telling you why, because if you think God
Because
is
God is not-
existence,
because
and
God is
could have been
necessary.
another way. Therefore, this cannot be part of that because this changed. This is contingent. This is contingent
Yes.
existence, not contingent on
but-
God.
So in summary, wait. Let me summarize. God, by definition, is a necessary being who is eternal. The bottle is contingent, not eternal. Simple.
The thing is, when we're talking about God, in my case, it's not that God is a being. God is being itself.
Okay, doesn't matter. It's
No,
still
it does
it's still
matter.
necessary. It's not contingent.
But it never changes. So even the
It's still
things that
necessary, my
appear-
friend.
Even the
It's
things
still
that appear,
his existence is necessary, not contingent.
necessary in compared to.
Was there a point in time where God did not exist?
No, obviously not.
Okay, cool. Was there a point in time where this bottle did not exist?
Insofar as what we're describing as the bottle, no.
We have always been describing it as a
Bro,
bottle.
you just said that matter. You're not going to argue matter is not eternal. So even in not the form of the bottle, what this bottle is made up from, there was a time where it did not exist. Therefore, this
Insofar as the bottle, it existed as being because it's always been.
What is okay? Can you define this being thing? Because we're talking about contingent existence in philosophy.
Yeah, I know.
strictly. Contingent existence necessary.
Yes.
This being business, you need to. This is like
yeah,
woo.
that's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. But I made my case already that when we're talking about something like the fence, what is it ultimately? What is it? What is the
We have told you it's matter.
Matter.
That's what it is.
So that's ultimately it's just matter.
No, ultimately the fence is matter.
Well, it's just matter.
Contingent matter.
So it's independent.
Wait, do you think it is consciousness?
I believe it's being.
Is it consciousness?
I believe it's being.
No, but you see, now the reason you're not using consciousness is because it doesn't apply to something like a fence. Am I right? Because earlier you said the only reality is consciousness. Am I right?
Yes, I did, but I retracted.
But now,
I retracted.
when I asked you about the fence, you're saying it's not consciousness.
But actually, why are you coming back to consciousness?
Because you
When I
keep
already
changing your definition of the being.
No, I retracted my statement from consciousness already.
Okay, define the being to him because he wasn't here earlier.
Are you being?
Bro, you can't ask me a question when I ask you to define something. Tell me no.
I cannot define
Because
it
you-
ultimately. I can't define it ultimately.
Make sure it's fit properly.
I cannot define it ultimately. I cannot define it.
No, you're using a term, being. I need you to define that term for me.
It's been a while.
How's it been going?
Huh?
How's it go?
It's alright.
Bro, define the term being. Because you keep using it and I don't know at all what it means.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. So when we're talking about a tree, for example, is it? We can ask two questions. Is it and what is it? Yes?
Does it exist?
Or
And
is it?
what is no? Does it exist?
Yeah,
The
that's
ontological
it.
question,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
And then
ontological question.
what is it made up of? Maybe we could ask that.
I think that's contradictory because then the first claim is the ontological. What is made up of is an ontological claim.
Sure. So you're asking
Okay.
two questions pretty similar to each other. Go on.
All right. So my claim is that the very fact that it is, right, whatever that is, it's being. Because it exists, by nature it's being. It cannot have any other ontological essence other than being.
Bro.
Because it is.
When I asked you to define being, you can't use being 4 or 5 times in the definition.
No, I cannot define it. I already
Okay,
told
so
you
if
this.
that's your position, then you need to know that you can't be arguing for it if you can't even define it. How can you
I don't need to
philosophically?
define it. I don't need to
how
define
can you
it.
expect other people to accept what's it called, positions
No, I'm not here to. This conversation.
Oh yeah,
was
sure.
not-
Even
it
if
was
you want to
not
accept
more-
it as a position
was
for yourself.
No. Let's not. My position doesn't ultimately come from philosophy or rational thought.
But you're
It came
using
from
philosophy.
experience. No, to talk to Hashim, yeah. But I'm not here to prove anything to anyone. Hashim wanted to understand my view better.
Okay.
And he tried to disprove it. That's it. I'm trying my best as much as I can with whatever I can, which is being, consciousness, and these are arbitrary words, with ultimately trying to describe something that cannot be described.
Okay, can we go back to, let's go back to the bottle.
Do you understand that?
No, I understand that you're telling me that you had some sort of experience that led you to a conclusion. However,
No, this is irrelevant. What I'm saying is the very fact that we're talking about it right now is not that I'm trying to make a point. It was me explaining my beliefs to Hashim.
yeah, I have no issue with that. But when you're talking, when you're having a conversation about ontology and reality, you're trying at least, even if you're for your own self, if not for others, you're at least trying to gain a heavier conviction and being able to see that you're able to rational and understanding. Sure.
Yes.
So if Hashim,
My question is,
yes, go on.
if something exists, what is its fundamental ontology? And is it separate to the ultimate ontological or to compared to monotheism?
Okay, so then let's go to the. We just showed you the bottle, bro. The bottle, we just talked about it. You think that God was always existing, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. The bottle. Forget the form. Forget any of this, because I have no issue with you telling
that's what
me.
you're describing as the bottle, right?
No. I'm not. I'm telling you. Even if you want to tell me that the bottle is not the thing we see in front of us, it's the form, everything that the bottle was before this. I'm okay with all of that. If you want to
You're
say,
not though. Because
I am
then,
okay with
no,
it.
because then what we're saying is that the bottle always existed, insofar as its true ontological state, which is the necessary.
No, the bottle was only and ever was a material thing. It's a material thing. So even it doesn't matter if you want to talk to me about. So it couldn't have existed pre-materiality.
But the problem is, I'm an idealist. I don't give matter an existence of its own. I believe it's all mental. It's mental stuff.
Okay.
They don't have an existence of their own. They derive their being from the ultimate being itself.
I don't see. Again, you're using things I don't have an issue with you telling me things that are matter or things that exist derive their existence from somewhere else. Yes, they're contingent for their existence is contingent upon something else. No problem with that, because they're not necessary.
Does that create a second existence?
A second type of existence?
But no.
Like you mean like it's not the same as the one that gave it existence, correct?
But the very fact that something exists must be the same. It must be existence. There's no.
Okay, I'll tell you why there must be, because they don't even share the same what's it called qualities. So that's what I'm saying. So if you agree that God always existed, which you do, and you agree that just even if you don't want to go beyond the just even in the material aspect, the bottle did not always exist. Therefore, this bottle could have been another way. It was another way, and its contingent its existence. It's a contingent existence, bro. It can't be a necessary existence. Automatically, it cannot be lumped in with the necessary existence.
Okay. When we're talking about the bottle again and again, we're talking about a state of existence.
No, we're talking about a thing.
No, we're still a state.
A tree, a bottle, whatever, a fence.
These
they're
are
all the
states
same.
of existence.
They're in a state of existence. They are themselves something.
Existence.
No, not just existence.
How can you say that something that exists is not existence?
No, it's not existence in all of existence, because the bottle does not encompass everything else. The bottle encompasses the existence of the bottle.
Existence. It exists.
Okay, but there was a point where that bottle did not exist and God existed. Okay, no, the matter of the bottle exists.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay, so what I'm saying.
That's
so there was a
fine.
point where the matter of the bottle did not exist and there was existence.
How can I put it? The form that existence is taking right now is dependent on existence, but it's existence throughout.
Bro, listen to me. It's very simple. You don't want to. I don't know why you're trying to. You just want to
because I don't
force the marriage between the two. There's no need.
There is no. I'm not. I'm. There is no second ontology.
I mean, you're claiming that, but I'm trying to have you. I know, but I'm trying to get you to substantiate it a little bit.
That's fine, and that's okay. But if God is the only and necessary being, right? Any other being ultimately is illusory in insofar as they having their own existence, because the only existence that exists is God's existence.
No, look. There was a point where all of matter did not exist and God existed, correct?
I still believe God exists right now.
Yeah, of course. I'm telling you, there was a point before material existence where God existed and material did not exist, correct? So if that's the case, then you cannot say that, what's it called? The bottle is attached to and is the same kind of existence that God is, because it didn't exist at one point. Or it is. Yeah, you can't. You can't say that. There was a point where nothing about that bottle existed. So there was not part.
Did
there was
existence exist?
not in the same way that you're talking about. That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. You need to just be clear with your terms. And you yourself are saying.
That's fair enough. I'm on.
So
I'm on
my
with
advice to you is, my apologies. My advice is you need to review your terms, and you need to come with like.
That's fair enough.
And you need to come with strict terms.
I can work on that, but the problem is, right? It's like
Thank you. For what?
this distinction between being and something that has being, but it's different. By the terms of being, is
I'm using philosophy to clearly show you that there is a huge difference between the two. Then it's on, the burden's on you to disprove that difference. And then, no, not the form. There's a huge difference. There is, there's necessary existences, contingent existences, and impossible existences. I'm showing you that the bottle is a clear and obvious, provable contingent existence.
Are they all existence, though?
No,
They're
okay,
all giving
that's
the
like,
name existence to them.
bro, but that's not
Because
the
they
same
exist.
thing.
But that's what
That's
I'm
like
talking
saying
about.
that's like saying all illnesses are the same because they're all illnesses. It's like, you're making a category error.
You're not comparing them categorically. You're comparing them ontologically.
Okay, I'm not saying you could say that like.
Do you see?
No.
These two
do you not?
jackets
Yes,
are the same.
They're
so far as
jackets.
jackets.
Yeah.
You can grant that, yes?
Yeah, but you're saying way more than that. You're
I know,
saying it's
but
the
why can't
same.
we why same insofar as jackets?
No.
Different, maybe different color, different zipper.
Okay.
These are fine.
Is the existence of God different to the bottle?
No.
Okay, so you're saying the same, bro. That's the problem. You see what I mean? You don't mean what you're saying.
The bottle.
You don't mean what you're saying, bro. Stop it.
I know.
With the jacket stuff.
What I mean is, the bottle exists. God exists.
Okay, they exist in different ways, and is their existence the same?
The existence,
Is
the
their
fact
type of
that they
existence the
exist is the same. The very fact that they exist is the same. They exist in different forms. God exists in a formless way. A bottle
Bro,
exists
just make
in
it
this
simple. Is the bottle and God, do they share the same existence?
way. They share the same being. Yes.
Okay, so then you're contradicting yourself with the jacket analogy, and you're also causing problems for you with regards to, I already showed you, the contingent type of existence
I know.
is completely different to a necessary existence.
I see the contradictions. I'm gonna be honest. Like I
Good,
do see
alhamdulillah.
I see the contradictions. But again, this discussion in the beginning didn't start out like this. But
Okay, no issues.
it's fine. I've been content with the fact that.
I appreciate the sincerity and honesty, but I'll say to you, like, come back or actually mull it over, watch the thing, re-listen to yourself, re-listen to what Brother Hashim said, listen to what I said, and then, by the way, my name is Ismael.
Ismael.
What's your name, bro?
Raphael. You have really nice eyes.
Okay, I really
the sunlight is.
I appreciate that. Thank you. But so inshallah, come back with like your terms rehashed.
Where
and
are you
what
from?
I'm Syrian and Spanish. Yeah, but I'm Canadian.
Me too.
yeah,
I was raised in Canada.
Oh, me in Toronto, in Mississauga. So there you go.
Ontario.
Okay, cool. Mashallah. All right, cool. So, bro, come back and let's have the conversation with all the rehashed terms.
Did you read Ibn Arabi?
No, not yet. But I'm doing a lot of Islamic philosophy stuff. I've read some stuff, but I don't.
Look into the heretic claims.
Yes.
Look what they're saying. It's going to be much clearer than me. Ibn Arabi says something along the lines of, what I'm trying to say is that that God exists not insofar as the
Before we get into this, rehash the terms, re-watch the footage, then come with new, because you said you found contradictions and all this. Okay, look through those contradictions and
I don't
whatever.
think they're contradictions that can be solved.
No, okay, but listen.
Yeah.
You want to at least for me, I don't want to. I always try to not hold contradictory views, and if I find contradictions within my views, I look to solve them. And if I can't solve them, I therefore start looking at changing the views drastically to views that do not have that.
But my
However,
view isn't based on.
I understand that you're saying it's yeah, but that's the thing. It's much more experiential. Now I think that obviously I'm a Muslim, and I think the Islamic worldview matches up your experience with your mind, with your rationale. So the point is, go rehash it over, see if you could come back with some real definition and stuff. And if you can't, bro, give what we're saying a real thought, and come back and talk.
Okay.
Khalas, inshallah. I felt good meeting you, bro. Yallah. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Yeah.